We about to go live too. Nope, but I'm gonna share it on your page anyway. Once the YouTube video gets set up. So Bo and Brittany, we in the process of going live, so we don't see y'all right now. Give us one moment.
All right.
Man, this shit's slow. Sometimes I can't go live on my other page. This should be.
Which one, the YouTube one or the Facebook one? Don't worry about it.
It won't let me go to the G spot. This is the sweat dance.
It's a G spot page open to the public.
Oh, here we go. Woo! God damn.
Thank God for the youth, huh?
Man, I'm telling you. I am. I'm sweating and shit. I'm about to wipe my face. I might have to get up in the middle of this. Get my wine.
Wow.
All right, it's queuing up, y'all. I probably need to erase the other videos. All right, we going live, y'all. Add a title. Whenever I do that, it never works. This is why it's always important to go live right away. Oh, we are live. Are we? Let me see.
I don't know. Hello. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What y'all getting into?
It would have notified me if we went live. Oh, here we go. It's a little slow, but we should be up in about 1 minute.
Okay. We're gonna get countdown?
Yeah,
we're gonna
you
get
do
caught
the counting, Bo? You gonna do the counting, Bo?
Nah, I'm gonna do the counting. You the one with the sure, I count. Just tell me where the count start from.
4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and 0 and -1 and -2 and negative. No, it's coming. It's coming.
I hate this chair. So comfortable.
Yeah. It's already in the event thing. Oh, I didn't select that. That's why.
Now, are you streaming on the website too? Just by me?
Yep. No, not the website. The website is going to put the YouTube video up once it's complete.
Finished. Gotcha.
All right, we live, baby.
All right. Welcome to the G Spot. Talking Tuesday. Talk about it Tuesday.
Talk about it Tuesday, baby. Big welcome. Big welcome.
We got Lady G and her host, Q. Sorry, I forgot your name. Sister Nurse Brittany. Of course, Old Black, representing best style all the time. Lady G, your show, baby. Let's do it. What we doing? What we got going on today? We got some
right. I still didn't get the notification that we was live. Somebody chat us and let us know that you see this right now, because I'm not sure if we are. I'm not seeing it. But based on our indications, we are. So right now we have the young people joining us. Introduce yourself, young lady.
My name is Anaya.
So we have Anaya and a gentleman on the end, and we have Q joining us. And today we wanted to just bring some of the younger thoughts and ideas from the lens of our young people, particularly around current events and everything that's going on right now. There's so much going on in the world. So it'll be interesting to get the perspective from the young folks. So we have a person that's missing tonight. Bo, you wanna?
Yeah, my little warrior, Lanique, she was slated to be here. My daughter was slated to be here, but scheduling conflict with her work. I told her not to worry about it. We'll do another show where she can participate. She sends her regrets, but she got to work. I told her, go make that cheddar. We'll be here.
Awesome. Awesome. So we got a lot to cover. Nurse Brittany is touching in all the way from Florida and Jacksonville, right, Brittany?
Yep.
All right. And then, Bo, we got you up in Bed-Stuy. And then, of course, we're over here in Milwaukee. And just to touch a little bit on what's going on in Milwaukee, first of all, it's a whole lot of shit going on. I don't know if y'all have access to the news. I'm sure they're not going to show you because of the way our city took over the Milwaukee County Jail and Courthouse today. They had a whole barbecue, honey. They had a bounce house for the kids. They had goddamn DJ, a dance floor, blow up beds, card table, poker table. I mean, it was going down. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it still is. And all thanks to, of course, Frank Nitty, who put that whole thing together to try to get some justice for Vaughn Mays, who was arrested yesterday. Both of them are local activists. And so shouts out to Frank Nitty and Vaughn Mays.
Can we get a hand clap for the pettiness of black folks? Can we get a hand clap for the pettiness of black folks? Thank you.
Milwaukee.
I love it.
So I'm curious to know, like, what's going on in Bed-Stuy. I know you're in, you said you're in Long Beach. Where are you at now?
Well, I'm in Long Island City right now. But I was in Bed-Stuy the other day. I checked out the Black Lives Matter in front of Restoration Plaza. That's dead in the heart of my hood. So many memories walking down that street now to see it with the Black Lives Matter. In front of the Billie Holiday Theater, Restoration Plaza was a focal point in the style in the 70s and the 80s for our improvement. You know, it was a place where we gathered. We have a theater there. It's a bunch of the skating rink that used to be in the back. That's where they had the Prince thing when he passed. They had his memorial. And they also have, in adjacent to that, a display of silhouettes, mimicking the gun range silhouettes. And it has the names of all of the people that have been killed by police.
Oh, wow.
Next to it. It's a permanent installation. It's pretty chilling, but it's dope too.
Wow.
But yeah, Brooklyn Bed-Stuy is always gonna represent with the arts, with the they ain't playing no spades at the courthouse though. They ain't got Milwaukee beat on that though.
Well, Bo, I know you're a photographer, an artist, all around creative guy. So hopefully you get some of those moments for us so we can share those on the G-Spot too.
I will, definitely.
So Brittany, what's going down in Florida? What's going on with the protests or anything new over there?
I mean, as far as our cases, our COVID cases are rising. We're starting to be the new epicenter as far as like coronavirus here. As far as the healthcare world, they changed a law, so we have to require a mask everywhere. We can't go anywhere without it. And
is that throughout the whole state of Florida or just in Jacksonville?
That's the whole state of Florida. Our bars closed back up because it was a jump in cases because everybody wanted to party at the beach. But besides that, healthcare workers have to get tested every 2 weeks now. As far as I know, it would be the mouth swabs and not the nose swabs. Hopefully not. But and they're also doing free antibody testing, which is something new that they conquered up. We'll see about that. It's free. I'm not sure if I'm doing it yet, but
is that the one where they go all the way at the back of the throat with the antibody test?
That's the swab testing. The antibody testing would be like testing your blood.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right, antibodies. That's to determine if you've had it and if you've flown there, right?
Yes. Antibodies in your system, it basically tells you if you came into contact with like any disease, any condition, that you may have been exposed to. Yes.
So have you actually worked with any COVID patients, Brittany?
As far as at my facility, nobody has tested positive, and all of the residents and the healthcare workers have gotten tested. So far, none of us have it or anything like that. I really don't even know like a lot of friends that have it. I hear like a lot of people, friends of friends that have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know any people that have tested positive for COVID, or you go?
Yes.
I've known some people, not personally. Well, no, I can't say that. One person over the phone, they tested. Well, not over the phone, but I haven't had contact with them. But they tested positive.
Yeah,
They're in the healthcare field. Huh?
I said you made that very clear.
Yeah, I did, right? But yeah, she's in the healthcare field, so that's part of the risk of the job. So this is actually a second quarantine. I don't know exactly the entire scenario around that, but she went back and they gave her after 2 days. They said she had to go back into quarantine. I don't know what the situation was, but other than that, I haven't heard anybody with anything.
Okay, so they know other people who've had it too, but they beat it, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each person's symptoms is different from what I'm hearing. Like, some people have respiratory symptoms. Some people just have, like diarrhea and nausea, stuff like that. I think everybody's differently as far as who's catching it, probably based upon their immune system and how easy that they can get rid of it. Yeah.
Wow. The strains coming out of was it Taiwan? I think it was. Is a new strain. They said that there was supposed to be.
How recent did you hear that, Bo?
Oh, I checked Google, like every day for COVID news. So in the last 2 or 3 days, they're starting to shut down parts of their empire. That's a different stuff.
You know what I'm seeing in most hospitals and stuff. I'm in this group on Facebook, and it's like a group full of nurses. Basically, it's called like Black Nurse Students or something like that. And basically, they're saying like they're getting fired from their jobs because they aren't basically putting the deaths of people as COVID victims, because they only been having symptoms like, say if they died of a stroke or a heart attack or something like that, they'll still be putting them as they had COVID. So I'm not really sure how the numbers are based on like what's real, like who died of what, because I know that the more COVID patients that you have, the more money that the hospital gets.
Yeah. According to family members, one of my cousin's fathers died, and they found him. I guess he was old, so they found him in the hospital. I mean, not the hospital, in his home, and they determined it was COVID. Like, how? Why did you? No, he lived by himself. This is, I don't know. As I heard other stories of people go to the hospital for one thing and then they pass and they say it's COVID. Like, what the hell? I've heard that too.
And I know so many people who are scared and reluctant to go for that same reason. Like, I don't want to go and they diagnose me and then I'm dead. I'd rather, fight that off myself.
Well, they ain't gonna diagnose you and die. You gotta have it and then die.
Well, that's sketchy too, because did you see the article today that said that a man tested positive and negative in the same day, like in a matter of hours?
What did he pass? Well, that's probably a faulty test or something.
Well, we'll see how many tests are faulty. And
well, that's just let's talk to Dr. Trump.
or Fauci, or
not Fauci. He's the president of the United States. You can't pass the buck. He is the president of the United States.
But is he really running it, Bo?
And that's the reason why he should step down. But that's a different show.
You're right. So Brittany jumped into COVID, Nurse Brittany. We were asking her about the protest, but she jumped into COVID. You all aren't experiencing any protests over there in Jacksonville, Britt?
I mean, we did, after the, George Floyd murder, we started, experiencing some, but they like shut it down like a week after. I know that, police officers went to the hospital and stuff. They sent like police officers to the hospital, like some got stabbed and stuff, like it was crazy. But other than that, it's not happening here currently as of what I know.
Who was stabbed again? Any little clarification on that?
Oh, a police officer was stabbed during the protest.
Ah, I'm okay with that.
That is Bo's opinion. That is not the opinion of the people on the G.
Bo's opinion is Black Lives Matter, and I don't care about blue shirts.
So we got some people on the chat that are in Dallas, Texas, and they're saying they have to wear masks everywhere in Dallas, in Texas right now.
Right. Well, that's wise because didn't Texas see some sharp increase in their cases and like.
Yeah, but the person on the chat is saying that they think that the cases are definitely inflated. I think.
Okay, that's nice that they can think that, but just because you think that does not necessarily make it medically true. And it's that sort of attitude that's making these numbers go up.
But the thing
people
is,
think
Bo,
they know better than the
people
science.
living in having heart attacks, Bo, and they're being classified as COVID.
But
My
does
daughter
that now mean that
the other day, and she said, "Mom, I'm sick." I said, "Well, is it COVID?" She said, "Well, I don't know what else. Like, is it? You're not sick, or it's COVID these days? Like, what the hell?"
Okay, but even in that instance, that does still not negate the science of the people who are actually infected and actually dying. Just because people are doing things after they're dead, as far as the record keeping, doesn't negate the fact that we are in a pandemic and people are dying, people are getting sick. And I haven't had to worry about it, but I know that it's a real thing for people's families.
I have a researcher who's strictly doing the numbers in Milwaukee. Now, mind you, Milwaukee is predominantly Black or a high Black population here. The Black population numbers have been decreasing. He checks these numbers daily. In fact, I just had this conversation with him today. And he's a well-known, well-respected, reputable person. I'm not going to name him, but he's just been looking at Milwaukee itself. And the numbers for Black people have gone down, while the numbers for other people, particularly white people, have gone up. And so I think that's something to look at, because they're saying the cases are going up, but they're not saying who. And that.
Well, we know who. We know who. Turn on Fox News, you'll see who. Turn on a Trump rally, you'll see who. My rats, you know they selling those foolish cards that they try to make use to exempt them from having to wear masks indoors.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? This is ridiculous. And these people can be, they don't understand basic science. You can be asymptomatic. You cannot be affected by it, but still infect other people, which is the reason why I started wearing my mask, because I didn't have a concern about getting sick. It wasn't until somebody brought up the asymptomatic aspect of it, I was like, all right, well, I can do it, but I don't want to get nobody else sick.
Right.
So I wear my mask in close proximity. If I ain't around nobody, I'm taking that shit off.
Yeah. And I think that's the responsible thing to do. When I was in San Diego last month, you had to wear a mask everywhere. Anytime you entered into an establishment, you have to wear the mask. It was known. It wasn't a problem. I think it worked well. People respected it, and it provided some sense of security and safety. Do you all feel like you are at risk when you go out without your mask?
No.
Not really? No. Do you think young people won't take it as serious?
Yeah.
I got it now.
You got a mask, but you took it off. Why?
So yeah, we don't take it.
It's like
I think
I
we
don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. I hate wearing my mask too.
Yeah,
I get it.
And breaking people's face out. And I think we're at the point where it's like they was talking about how it's really only affecting other people because you're in a respiratory situation. So it's like we can get sick. For me, for instance, right now. And
it's definitely been. It's definitely been a rise though, as far as like the younger generation, because like nobody wants to take it serious, and a lot of people are tired of being at home. You know, we've been at home for like 3 months, you know, so like they want to hang out with friends and party and, you know, like, so I could understand why cases are going up as far as like younger people.
And you want to factor in the recklessness, the innate recklessness and of children, not in a bad way, but just that youth makes them feel invincible and vulnerable. They'll take chances that adults won't take because they're still young and they're full, far too full of vitality for common sense. But I'm thinking that would factor into. Would you agree with that or disagree?
I think that's true.
I have a thought every now and again.
So I'm curious to know because one of the things, the reason again why I said we have you guys on here is because we feel like the young people are the voice of this generation. They've been doing some powerful things, some power moves, and just like really fearless in a sense. Although may not be the most organized, but hey, we didn't do it right either in the generation, you know. So we're all getting it as we go. But I'm curious to know like how social media has affected this generation. Like, how do you all feel about social media in your lives? And I'm gonna start right here.
I feel like that the younger you are getting on there, the more affected you'll be because you're going to be exposed to some things that you shouldn't be at such a young age. Like how you always tell me you feel like you should never put me on there at the age of 9 or 8. So I do feel like it's very impacting to a certain extent, but now like we getting older, so I feel like some people kind of growing out of that. I'm gonna live for social media mindset. But yeah.
What about you, Q?
To me, I think social media is the world because like people sit and scroll on their phone all day, like you just can't go without checking out the phone. Like, and it's boring, but it's like addictive. But
Social media is boring, but it's addictive.
yeah, like you just go see what's on.
Yeah, like
there's knowledge, you know.
yeah. You click out and just click back on because it's like, dang, what else is on my phone? Facebook.
So like in our day, we would go outside and play tag or some shit, right, Bo?
Yeah. Our social media was yelling over the fence or yelling up at the window. Yeah.
You said they 18 though. So what do they have to do? What is there for 18, 20-year-olds to do?
Well, this is what I always do. This is what I've always, my kids, if they're watching, will probably roll their eyes when I'm saying it. You have the wealth of the world's knowledge in your hand. Never before has any generation before us had the wealth, the access of information that you guys have, and we watch cat videos. So we look at social media. Yes, social media has power. Social media is addictive. Social media is boring, but you're used to it. There's so much more information out there. So many more different sources of information because we all tend to get our stuff from the same place. You know what I mean? They tell you not to look at Wikipedia, right? In school, they say don't trust Wikipedia, right? You know why? Because Wikipedia is not controlled information. It's managed by the people. You have to have citations for it. You can't just change something just because you feel like it. It has to have some basis in something.
So, Bo, we got some people on the live that said, okay, Dr. Bo, go ahead.
You said, who was that?
That was from Deja. And then Michael said, work, stack your money, and enjoy your 20s, but wisely. He's
right.
in the medical field. Shout out to Mike out there. So he's very familiar with the pandemic and the different things that were going on too. So we got to get him on the show to talk one day too, Mike. Shout out to Mike.
Definitely. But yeah, I just to finish up, I just wanted to say, avail yourselves of all of the information that you have before they take it from you. Because with the I don't know if you guys are aware of the throttling, they're gonna do the tiered pay system for internet service. They're currently fighting in the Senate and the House for it, where internet service providers can provide a tiered service, meaning the more money you have, the more access to your particular bandwidth that they'll give you, as opposed to it being an open market system, the way it is now, equal access to information. Soon enough, that might not be there.
So that right now is before The Supreme Court, where?
Not the Supreme Court. They're battling in the different houses in the Senate. And well, they were before all of this stuff. This was like last summer type stuff they were talking about. It's probably gotten shelved for the goodness because nothing happened for now, but it was something that was being talked about.
So,
and if they do it.
So in the words of Dr. Bo, use social media as much as you can so you can get all the information that you can, because it may not be there anymore. So speaking of social media and young people, like Bo and I were growing up, we're of a certain generation. I ain't gonna put our age out there because I'm still a young tender in my mind. But I think that dating, although it was difficult, it was a little bit easier not dealing with the social media aspect of it. So how do you, like, I put a meme up in the G-Spot today and it asked, should you put your relationship on social media? And the majority of the people said no. I think one person said, yeah, if you get in a new relationship every 2 months, then you probably don't want to. And someone else said, if your relationship is strong, then by all means, nothing can break it, which I agree with. So I'm curious to know, I guess I'll start with you, Brittany. What do you think about that?
As far as social media, with relationships, I feel like with relationship these days, a lot of stuff can break it because it's not a strong bond created as far as how, you know, the older generation did when they didn't have social media and stuff. So social media can affect a relationship a lot, especially like because they're exposed to so much stuff. Like as far as like if you guys were to get in an altercation or something, you know, they could just hop on social media, you know, find somebody else, you know. So it's so easy to get, you know, blindsided by social media when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, I agree. What y'all think?
It depends. You want me to tell you how I feel about relationships being on social media or like?
So,
okay, so I feel like to a certain extent, it should be on the media. I mean, not y'all business and what y'all going through, but you should at least let people know that, you know, that's your significant other. Now, all that like arguing and letting the world know what y'all going through, I feel like that's a little bit, but that don't need to be on social media. But it don't hurt to let the world know that like that's who you're dating. Little flick carrier.
So Michael or somebody said, yeah, if it's organic, exploit your happiness to the world. There's nothing wrong with that. What do you think, Q?
I think younger people, social media is just like for like shares.
A little louder, huh?
I think it's just for like attention sometimes. I don't know. I'm not like, I use social media for like funny stuff. I don't be into like posting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what it should be used for. But it got used as like a reality show. Something like you can like know everything about everybody.
It certainly is a reality show. A clown circus, a goddamn a whorehouse. I mean, it's just everything that you want. What is it, Las Vegas around this bitch? You know what I'm saying? But you gotta respect it because it has changed the world. It has brought so many people together. It has opened the eyes. It has evolved us faster than we probably would have, you know, previously. And I do think, and I heard that it was around since the 70s, maybe, you know.
Yeah, the internet originally was used between the universities professionally, sort of like I don't even know if LexisNexis is still around, but that was like that was the Google of the academic world back in the day. But even before that, they would use it to, you know, send information from school to school. I remember when AOL started. Remember AOL, G?
Oh my God. The dial, my God.
We didn't even have the internet when that first started. We were just logging into AOL service. All we had was the chat rooms, the keywords. Remember, we weren't typing in any addresses or anything.
Dinosaur age.
It wasn't until they put the little globe, the little Earth thing on it that we had access. It became America Online officially, and they made the big thing because we had the access to the internet. Before that, it was just the service. We didn't have none of that.
And you know what? That's so important because although we're here in Milwaukee, a lot of the people that are on the G-Spot that are part of the page are international. They're all over the globe. And that's my goal, is to just draw audiences from all over, because I think this is a global thing. If we can make a global impact, and the whole idea of the G-spot, God equaling love, like this is all about love. And we're trying to find ways to build instead of break down the barriers, the bridges, everything that keeps us apart. We're trying to break those things down and bring us back together, however that may look. You know, I'm saying, Bo and his crazy articles and cuss words, and you know, me trying to figure out stuff and maybe not talking too much and letting other
I don't curse. I don't curse. I speak in curses.
This is a damn lie.
I'm a motherfucking lie, but we're gonna talk about that another time.
So we have somebody in the chat, Bo, that says we need to practice more respect for each other to appreciate people, regardless of what happens in your relationship. So they're talking about the relationships. And this person says, I have been guilty of it when emotions run high. And I've noticed a lot of people on Facebook get on there and just rant their whole life. That punk ass.
I've done it. I've done it.
You go live and test some people. What is that about? Like,
I can't speak for everybody else or anyone else, but when I was going through different things at different points in my life, for me, it was like a journal. I didn't really care if anybody reacted to it or commented. It was sort of like a marking time, marking a place. But my penchant for being a savage when I get angry produces some, you know, that talent is not always very well placed. You know, sometimes I did bad things with my talent so much as disrespect to X and things that I did and said. And it was wrong. It was wrong. I've done it. I understand why people do it if it's anything like mine. It's cathartic. It's stupid. It's redundant. I apologize for it on my page after I did it because I realized that it was stupid. It happens. It does happen. Why? People just got to get shit out. Some people are just fucking petty and nasty and stupid and angry. What's up?
That's facts. I think it's partly because you're a Gemini, though, but we'll get into that later. And this right here is too.
Well met, little sis. Don't let them mess with you.
Okay. Yeah, LexisNexis is around. We use it for tracking fraudsters now. So someone in the chat mentioned that the LexisNexis still exists, Bo.
It is. Okay, good. Cool. I didn't know.
In the financial industry.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. And feelings make a snap out. Somebody mentioned in the chat. And it do. I mean, you know, I've experienced loss and got on Facebook like, oh my God, I lost somebody. And then I realized, you know, like, these people probably don't even give a fuck. You know, like, but you want people to, I don't know. It's a weird emotion.
Yeah.
You know? Because
in some ways you're trying to connect with something or someone or somehow in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, sometimes you do it wrong.
Yeah.
The desire is still there. And sometimes you fuck it up.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't have all the answers. I can just tell you what's good for me, what happened on my end.
That's real. That's real. So we're going to talk about sex trafficking a little bit because we had an incident that happened, I think about a week ago here. And I don't even know the details, so I'm not even going to speak too much on it because I don't like to talk about it and I don't really know much about. But just an overall, I think there was suspicion of people being trafficked. I done went all the way 3rd Street. Okay, trafficked in the house on street here. And then we had some activists go and really contest that situation because the police weren't reacting. The police eventually came. People suspect that the police was in. There's all kinds of theories. Long story short, there may be some truth to it, it sounds like. And so I want to know, and I don't know, Brittany too, because the nurse, Brittany, if you've experienced working with trafficking victims, have you experienced working with women that have been sex trafficked? Okay. Or men?
No, as far as in my career, not yet.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that she says that. Not yet, but it's a poor inevitability, I guess.
It's a high probability, Britt.
Yes, I know.
So Naya actually came home that day when it happened, and we had a conversation, but we had it prior to, so I was aware of it. But you want to share the story that you had? So she felt like she was approached before.
Oh, really? Okay.
Detail?
Yeah.
Like where I was, Okay,
But whatever you're comfortable with.
I was on the corner on the east side on the bus stop waiting on the 22 on Holton and Richards, I believe. And this lady had pulled up in the truck. It was dark. I'm already blind. She like, I'm with my friend, one of my friends too. And the lady was like, where y'all going to? We didn't respond back to her. So then she was like, I'll drop y'all off. Come on, I'll drop y'all off. Trying to like get us to, the bus was approaching though, trying to get us to get in her car. We still not saying nothing to her. Then she's like, come on, get in. It's not nobody in here. So then the bus comes, we get on the bus. But what I had told my mom was that I knew, well, I suspected that it was sex trafficking because she got to saying how, oh, come on, ain't nobody in here. And it's like none of us said nothing about nobody being in your car. Ma'am, you said that.
Right.
So that's how I know somebody's in there. And I just feel like she was trying to get me. Why do you want to take me home so bad?
Right.
And I think like a lot of times when people think about sex traffickers, they think of women being snatched and men being the ones that are the perpetrators. But it's a very sophisticated operation, and they're very much aware of how to maneuver. And so I think the women definitely is a part of the trap, and it makes sense because women are nurturers. You can send a woman to prey upon these young teen girls. Maybe they need some assistance. Maybe they don't want to put that money on the bus. They'll keep that money and they'll give them your car, and then you'll never see them again.
Yeah.
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 So I'll just stop right there with that. But I think that that's a topic, and it's a high thing in Milwaukee. And if I'm not mistaken, it's pretty high. Oh, I just read something about another city. I can't even remember right now.
I'm pretty sure New York is on that list somewhere.
Texas, and probably New York. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. You know, a funny thing. Well, it's not funny, but when you were mentioning that you automatically, assume male catch female. I can't say that it was sex trafficking, but I felt like somebody tried to abduct me a few years ago in Warner Robins, Georgia. Car pulled in front of me, a big black SUV pulled in front of me. Guy on the sidewalk, like in the driveway on the sidewalk. Stop. Window comes down, passenger side. Driver says, yo, you know where I can get some gas? I need some gas. So as I'm about to say something to him, I can see the door, the rear passenger door opening up. And my spidey sense, I guess, just went off. And I threw my body against the door, and I said, I know what the fuck y'all got going on, but y'all better get the fuck out of here. The dude that was driving, he looked back at the door that was open, and then he backed up and pulled up.
Huh.
That's the only thing I can tell you that happened.
I know one thing.
I'm a
What was gonna happen?
I'm 250-pound black dude. They still try to snatch my ass up.
Wow. And maybe that was the case of mistaken identity. I think a lot of black men might deal with that. Yeah.
Mistaken identity? Well, I can tell you another story. We won't get into that about mistaken identity. But yeah, that's definitely true.
I never waffle.
All right, so we're gonna be finishing up shortly here, but I guess I want to know from each of you all, and I appreciate y'all coming on and kind of sharing your views. I think young people get a bad rep, and I'm sure every generation of young people do, just because somehow when we get old, we forget what it was like to be young. So I do respect y'all, and I appreciate y'all being here. And I know, Naya, you had to go through a lot to be here, and I really do appreciate you. So I wasn't sure you was gonna make it. Brittany was last minute, so Brittany, I appreciate you as well. My question is,
You're welcome.
what is one?
I don't appreciate you. What happened? You don't get a shout out?
Oh yeah, I said all of them. Sure, Q. I'm sorry, Q. The only male on the show. Thank you, Bo. You just like him because his name is Q.
Yeah, but bro, we gotta stick together too, man. We gotta stick together. So.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah, Q for being here for sure. I told Naya I wanted a young man on the show. And let her tell it. The only smart one I could think of off top, but just to have that perspective from a male's view. We don't get that all the time from young men. And people like to label them so fast. So I want to have that representation here. Anyway, question before we get out of here, y'all. What is one thing about this generation that you want people to know? If you had to say anything, you have the floor. About your generation, about you all, what it's like to be a young person, or what you go through, or whatever.
Cue the Jeopardy music.
Like, as far as what, Mom?
Okay, there she goes. She's ready. I think she's ready.
Anything, any misconception, anything that you want to clear, anything you want a person to know, your last statement.
I feel like that our generation is the movement and we don't get enough credit. People think when they see, well, I'm not going to say no years, but you know, my age group, they automatically think, oh, just disobedient, off the charts, just raging out. And it's like, I feel like with everything that's been going on, we've been keeping our sanity and helping the movement. So, yeah, I feel like my generation is this stuff.
Okay, her generation was the stuff. What about you, Q?
One thing I would say is our generation is very creative. Like some of the young people, some younger kids, like even with music and stuff, they be like some younger guys be blowing me away when I hear them. So like now we seeing people do stuff with clothes, drawing, a lot of stuff. So like I think they just need support and just like reassurance. That's the word. Reassurance, and then it'd be good.
I love that. Reassurance and support. You have a lot of young people out here that are creative. Nurse Brittany, you got any last things you want to say about the younger generation?
As far as them being so innovative, I mean, it's a lot of younger people that's starting to be more entrepreneurial. They're starting to open their mind up to other avenues as far as like you don't have to go to college in order to be successful. You can, you know, start your own business and work for yourself, you know, if you set up the right way and, you know, actually plan it out.
I absolutely agree. And to add on to that, we have Deja who said, this generation isn't as lazy as older folks make it seem. It's full of hustlers. So there you have it.
Hustlers, I like that word. And you know what I'll say about this generation? Like, lit ain't even a word. Lit ain't even a word. Yo, the generation here will punch a cop in the face for acting a fool. They'll troll the president and buy all the tickets, get all the tickets from the shit. So, I mean, y'all lit, y'all organized. Y'all whole I don't give a fuck mentality that used to drive older people crazy is what's fueling you motherfuckers. So look, as buck as I was when I was a little G, trust me, I'm with y'all. Tear this shit down.
This generation is definitely the answer.
Yes, it is. They fucked with the wrong generation. They ain't to be played with.
Absolutely. And we finally got that generation. Hello.
Yeah. This is my kid's generation. I got 22-year-old, 23-year-old. This is my kid's generation. Fuck this shit up. Yeah.
We did that, bro.
Yeah, we did that shit. Yeah.
These kids right, goddammit.
Right.
We out, y'all. That's the G-Spot checking out. Thank y'all for joining us. Make sure y'all check us out at gspotme.com. Some of the blogs, we got to get some new ones up. We got the G-Spot Tarot coming soon.
I heard that we got to get some new material up. I heard that little.
Sexual healing. So get your sex therapy. We also got life reads. Check us out, gspotme.com. And you can sign up for a personal read. Bo Black on Instagram, Facebook. We got TY Tattooist at TY Little. Check him out. Facebook, Instagram, Tattooist, and also Dope with the logos. Fuck with the man, okay? And then we got multimedia, Final Cut Multimedia. Check out my boy Terrell Scott. And again, y'all, check us out at the G-Spot. Coming at the end of July. We're going to be doing these readings live on Instagram and Facebook. Y'all going to get this work, baby. Love y'all. Deuces.
Love y'all. Be cool.